Hey, what's up, friends? It's Aki here. Today I've got a very interesting, unique photography gear to check out, and this is the mini Speedlite. So it's like a flashlight for your camera by Photolex. They sent out this mini flashlight for me to check out. Now, I personally have not used flash in my photography before. I've done a couple times, but I'm not great at it. But I think it could be a very interesting video where I try to use it on both of my Sony a7C II as well as the this tiny camera, the Ricoh GR. Not sure if it's even gonna fit on it, but I think that's one of the complaints from the GR community, that this camera lacks the flashlight. So we'll see. We're gonna get very interesting photos from it. So let's see what's inside of the box. All right, the box is nice and sturdy right away. Check this out. This is the flash. Feels very well built. It's not like on the heavy side, but it's got really good texture to it that kind of matches, some of the camera texture. And I love the design of this. This feels very compact. It feels like one of those flash you would mount on a gun or weapon or something. So of course you have the hot shoes mounts at the bottom. What I like about this design, I have not seen other companies done it before, is they somehow designed a quick release or quick mounts for the hot shoes. So you know how normally you have to do the annoying thing, you slide the hot shoe on. Let me show you, and then you have to like twist it to screw it on, and it takes like 30 seconds. But they made it so that if you push this button right here, this knob or lever, whatever you call it, it's now locked. It just took like 1 second to secure. So this is definitely nice. I've never seen any other companies done this before, so this is pretty cool. And to unlock it, loosen it, and now you can slide it out. As you can see, this flashlight, it's kind of big for my Ricoh GR3, but again, this is actually kind of funny, but we'll see. Let's check out what other accessories comes in the box. We have a silicone white translucent cover, so if you put it on, it's going to diffuse some of the light, and that's going to give you a softer look, not as harsh. So that's nice, and it feels very thick too and heavy duty. It's not going to break anytime soon. We do have a type C to type C for charging it. So I believe you can take over 500 or 700 photos per charge. So that's definitely very nice. We have another silicone mount. Now this mount's actually a adapter. So if I remove this piece and I put this on, I think this is the right side. So what you can do now, you can actually use some of the color filter that came with the Speedlite. We have green, we have blue, red, yellow. We have 7 different colors, if I can count correctly. Yeah, 7 colors. So you can attach that to the flash to create really fun images, which I'm super excited to try. See what different color flash, what image it can produce. Definitely those funky ones. So with blue, and it snaps on magnetically. I've heard that sometimes the flash can get so hot and bright, it actually melts the filter on this thing. So I don't know if that's true. Maybe we'll see. I will feel it. We have a user manual, and that's about it. That's cool. Nice and simple. To power it on, it's actually got a very cool 2 steps power process. So you hold this button right here on the top, and then this screen will light up, and you have to turn this knob to the right. I didn't know how to turn it on earlier. I have to look in the menu, but this is how you do it. You press a button and then you turn the knob. And to power off, you just hold the top button, just like that. So obviously you have a knob that you can adjust the brightness of the flash. And this thing gets super bright, by the way. I almost blind myself at the beginning. So you can go from 0 to 100. And you can also press this knob down to change the different modes. To S1 mode, and S2 mode, and a M, which I think it's manual mode. So I didn't know how to use flash before, and I had to look up what S1 and S2 mode stand for. Apparently, S1, it basically has a receiver in the front here. I don't know if you can see it, but it would detect other flashes, like a main flash. My guess is if the main flash goes off, you know, this thing goes off too. So everything is in sync. S2, this little icon right here, S2, is that it somehow ignores the first flash and flash on the second flash. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment, but I'll be using the manual mode since I'll be only using this flash. So the way to activate the flash, you actually don't have to do anything. All you really need to do is turn the camera on and just shoot, and it's gonna detect, it's gonna communicate with the camera through the hot shoe, and then if you press shutter button, and it would just go off like that. I don't know if you can see, maybe a little fast. I'm gonna point upward. See that? I'm gonna press the shutter button, and this is at 10%. If we power up to 50%, I don't know if it gets, ooh, my eyes. Again, you can use the silicone cover right here to diffuse the lights a little bit. And I do like that it has a mini LED screen in the front here to tell you which mode you're in. I don't know, this thing just looks super sleek. It's like, it almost looks tactical. I think that's the word that I want to use. Alright, now I have the Photolex Speedlite mounted on my ricoh GR3X. So we are currently in manual mode. You have to play around with the exposure a little bit. As you can see, or not see, I have the ISO set all the way down to 100. So I'm gonna hit the flash button. I'm gonna hit the shutter button, and it's gonna flash. And let's see how the photo turns out. Alright, so here's my take after using this Photolex Speedlite for a few days, and also just from messing around with external flash photography in general. At first, I thought flash photography was kind of new to me, but then I remembered, wait, both my Fujifilm XS20 and X-T30 have the built-in flashes. Now with this external flashlight, I think it's a total different stories. I picked it up thinking, it's pretty small, it feels light, how powerful can it be? But man, once I fired it up and took a few shots, I was like, okay, this thing is legit, it's bright, and I almost blind myself a couple times when I wasn't careful enough. What I ended up doing was putting my camera in manual mode. I dropped the ISO all the way down to 100 or 50 and controlled the exposure just through the aperture and the shutter speed. After a few test shots, I started getting a feel for how much power I needed for the Speedlite, whether I'm setting it at 10% or going up all the way to 100%. And the result instantly impressed me. There's something so wild about seeing a photo taken in a dark room, but it looked super crisp and zero noise, all because of that low ISO and just a strong pop of flash. Flash photography just has a different vibe. It's almost nostalgic to me, like those early 2000 points and shoot photos, and I kind of love it. One thing I had fun experimenting with was using the flash against bright backlit backgrounds. It balances out the exposure between the background and the subject, and it gives you this wildly cool, surreal effect. I also tried it on shiny objects like this chrome lucky cat that I have, and the flash made it pop so much. The reflections look pretty awesome. This Photolex flash also comes with a color filters, which I didn't think I'd be using it much, but after trying it a couple times, they're kind of fun to play with. You can throw in a few blue, orange, and suddenly the highlights have this cool, stylish glow. I can see it coming from handy in spaces with challenging lighting, like in a event space where the artificial light's either too yellow or too cold. You can just use the complementary color. I believe that's how it works. And the setup's pretty easy. I literally just have to slide it onto the hot shoe and it's synced up with the camera through the pin. I thought I needed to go into the camera setting, that's buried down in 4 or 5 different layers. But honestly, you just plug it in and it works. I was expecting some complicated setup, but honestly, it's just plug and go. Now with that said, I do wish it had TTL. Basically, it's like an auto mode for flash. Sometimes when it's pitch black, I can't even see enough to compose or focus on the LCD screen. So manual settings are kind of struggle to me. But again, for this price, a lot of flash just don't come with TTL. So that's pretty normal. But actually learning how to use manual flashing was kind of a bonus. Playing around with the setting helped me understand the exposure more when it comes to photography. It only took me about like 10 minutes to get a hang of it. All I really needed is just play around with the shutter speed and the aperture. And the design wise, I really like it. It feels very solid, it looks clean, it blends in well with most camera setup. Again, like I said earlier, it feels tactical in hand. If they ever made a silver version though, I would definitely grab that at a heartbeat for my A7C2. The only thing that I think it's missing is maybe like a little protective case to store the flashlights and the filters when I'm not using it. But again, it's not a deal breaker for this price point. It's just something nice to have. And honestly, I have way more fun using this than I expected. I already plan to take it with me on hikes, especially in the woods where it gets super shaded and dark. I think this flash could really make those shots stand out. So yeah, if you're new to flash or just want something fun and creative to shoot with in photography, I totally recommend this. It's a beginner friendly, creative, and honestly has enough power for more serious work if you know how to use it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments if you ever try flash photography or if this one's on your radar. I'll drop the link down below and thank you for checking this video out. My name's Aki. I will catch you in the next one.